Fred Field. How are you? If you're still here, sorry I'm late. You know me, always running behind the clock, running behind time. So, you know what I noticed in these videos is it kind of like I'm slanted, doesn't it? What am I going to do about that? Oh my goodness. That's crazy. I swear I'm not slanted. I mean, I might be, but I'll deny it categorically, right? So, yes. How do you like my hat? One of my trusty mods, who is a very good friend, sent me this hat yesterday. Do you love it? Love saves lives. Justice A to Z. Hey, Jade Hunter, how are you? I'm thinking that this might be the slogan for the channel. What do you think, you guys? Like t-shirts, mugs, pencils, bumper stickers, sweat jackets, hats. Okay. Bex. Hey there. Happy New Year. Oh, you guys, you know how I am. I skipped like 2 whole days coming on live and I just couldn't do it for another day. I had set up a live scheduled for tomorrow at 11. I am still going to try to do that, but don't hold me to it. You know, I'm on vacation and so I need to be flexible with myself. Thanks, Fred. Cute hat. Let me highlight that. One sec. So how is everybody? It's just getting close to 9:15, and I don't know how many of you guys like to run around and do stuff on New Year's Eve. I'm kind of a homebody, especially because, not only do you have drunk drivers these days, you've got drunk drivers texting or sexting even. So it just gets worse, right? Worse and worse. So let's get on with the show. Let's talk cases. Where did my little sign go? I took it out of the corner because I wanted to put my cute little bridge with the little mouse closer to you guys so you could see it. Hey, Sherry, Happy New Year. I think I said hi to you, Jade Hunter. Happy New Year back to you guys. And thank you for joining us on this evening of New Year. Oh, you were so nice. Thanks, you guys, for letting me into your homes, into your hearts, into your headspace. So here's my silly little sign. Please make sure you're still subscribed if you are subscribed. And if you're not subscribed, please consider it. It does a lot to help the channel grow. Share the video if you like it. And you can turn on your notification bell if you want to be notified when I do my lives, which pretty much these days it's all been lives. So now that I've said that, I probably will have to do some pre-recordeds, right? And please hit that creepy thumb. Where can I put that where it won't knock down my water or anything? So 2 hours past my normal time, but I'm finishing 3 days off. Yeah, I've had a lot of time off and it's been nice. You guys, I'm so proud of myself. Other than this video right now, I have been 100% solid couch potato the whole day. I set a goal for myself and I met it. Almost. I got off the couch to do this. So I guess I'm an utter failure, but I just couldn't not share with you some of the notes that I've been taking, the brain leaks that I've been having. Jade Hunter says too much time off. Yeah, idle hands are of who. So it is good to keep ourselves busy to some extent. If we're just keeping ourselves busy because we're afraid of sitting still and afraid of sitting with our emotion. I mentioned something about that the other night in one of my lives. I think it was the very last live that I did, that I do keep myself super busy, super duper busy. And I like to constantly be kind of pushing myself. I think of it like riding a bicycle. I like to be in that hard gear where I'm trying to ride my bike uphill. And if it's in too easy of a gear, it just isn't as satisfying. It's kind of a weird analogy, but it works for me because that's how I am. I like things to be challenging. However, I do need a good couch potato day sometimes. But then, of course, all I did was watch documentaries, right? A lot of them. Have you guys heard of the Chernobyl documentary on HBO Max? I had heard really good things about it, and I thought, goodness gracious, sounds like a lot of busy work, right? Sounds like schoolwork. I highly recommend it. I power watched the whole thing today. So I now am an expert on Chernobyl. Of course, I'm not. I'd watch it again, and I'm sure I still would be nowhere near. But man, was it eye opening. So, what did you think of MC's disgusting Kylie song? Oh, Fred, I'm so glad you asked. Yeah, I tuned into Divine Justice, aka Mrs. G, the Honey Badger, a couple of times today. She's probably still on. I think she's been on for like 6 hours or more. Bless her. She's just, hammering away at her goal of annoying the F out of MC. Um, and yeah, that song is absolutely disgusting. I got in there and made some comments, and what a wicked individual. And, I think that this was from her last live, like in the last 24 hours. And I can't remember the date of her brother's passing, but we all know that Megan had a brother who passed away years ago, and that he was alone. He was unattended, and he fell down the stairs allegedly. So if he was alone, there's really no way to know if he fell down the stairs on his own or if somebody might have helped him fall down the stairs. I mean, I'm just being real. I'm not trying to like poke a bear or anything. I'm just being real. I think that that's the story, and I think that it happened around Christmas or New Year's. Maybe one of you knows. If you do, please share. Are you kidding me? She has a song about Kylie. It's horrible. It's insane, Jade Hunter. Like she's an attention whore, and she doesn't care if it's negative attention. She just is like trying to be the star of her MC Ultra show. I think I'm gonna puke. MC is, yeah, exactly. It was from last night's live, but Ninja and Mrs. G replayed it. Yeah, I caught Ninjas also. So thank goodness for Ninja. Thank goodness for Mrs. G. And I don't know if Ara's planning to go live tonight. And I think Shan definitely is. So I wasn't planning on being on too long, but you know how I get once I'm on with you guys. I could just go on and on and on forever. But hopefully we will be able to do that with some lives during the day, like a brunch time. I don't want to commit. You know how I am. I just have to see what works. Maybe like 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, somewhere between 9 and noon, maybe. We can try to have some longer lives on weekdays starting Tuesday after this break is over. So, yeah, I like getting back to work. Like, I like to stay out of trouble, and it keeps me busy. So, anyway, the world is evil. Oh, Jade, let's make it a better place. There is a lot of disgusting, horrible crap. Absolutely. And there's a lot of beautiful, amazing magic. And I feel like, honestly, I feel like what I'm doing with my YouTube channel, and I'm going to just risk it and sound as corny as I am, because I am. Why fight it? I feel like I'm trying to fight that evil that you're talking about. I feel like that's what we're doing together. We are creating something positive. We're working together. We're focusing our attention on these cases that really need attention. We're focusing on each other. I mean, there's definitely like a interpersonal component to it that I never expected. I honestly didn't. And of course there's going to be, because right, I forgot we're human. So that real human element of, this is social media. This is how we connect to the world these days. So the world is a vampire. Smashing Pumpkins. Yes, absolutely. So let me give you guys a really good phrase that somebody gave me 30 years ago, and I love it. It applies to MC Ultra. The phrase is emotional vampire. So we all have people in our lives that are emotional vampires. And when we identify them as such, we can protect ourselves against them better. So for me, that's been really helpful to have that that phrase. Being able to talk about a problem is the beginning of solving it. really, honestly. Um, Fighting the good fight. Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And, evil is, I think, dishonesty, and, truth is where I think God lives, honestly. And when you don't have truth, you're not with God, in my opinion, in my humble opinion. And let me say, everything that I say here is simply my opinion for the sake of a conversation, always hoping to open up a discussion, learn something, be educational, and connect with my fellow peeps here, my justice warriors, my Justice League. So thank you so much for being a part of it. All my videos to date have been made for YouTube. It's an entertainment platform. There's a lot of problems with YouTube, this entertainment platform, but I stick with it because it's a good way to, I think, reach a lot of people. I've reached all of you. You've reached me. My biggest problem with it is the shadow banning. And I assume that that comes from the higher ups in the YouTube land. And, I just try not to worry about it too much because I've said it again and again. I'm not so concerned with how big my channel is. I like having a very small personal channel. I mean, it's not very small. To me, it's huge. 4,000 subs is, like, I've said it before, about 4,000 more than I thought I'd ever have. So, to me, it's gigantic. I know it's, in the grand scheme of YouTube land, it's not that big of a deal. But to me, it's just perfect. It's like, it just feels rock solid. It's the right size. So I'm not worried about that. But with the shadow banning, when they're chipping away at your subs, when they're deleting your subs, eliminating and unsubbing, they're trying to mess with your head. They're trying to make you think that people don't like you anymore. They're just trying to discourage you. And why would they be trying to discourage little old me? Like, what am I doing over here that they give a flying F about? Really? Come on. All I'm doing is talking crazy conspiracy theories, right? Like things that could never, ever, ever happen. Like there's just no way anybody did anything bad to Kylie Rodney. No way. No way. That girl just got drunk, drove herself into the water. End of story. Let's send out 60 FBI agents and a whole bunch of marshals and Homeland Security and everybody else under the sun because, a kid got drunk and drove herself into the water. And let's all get on YouTube. And let's make a bunch of weird ass videos and have a bunch of weird ass characters come out of the woodwork. So, yeah, why do they care if we're talking about a 16-year-old who drove into the water intoxicated? Why would YouTube care that we're talking about that and trying to discern if there's something more to it? Why would they give a flying F if there wasn't more to it, in my humble opinion? And I know you guys agree with me because that's why we're all here. Okay. Salty says, it pops into my head often through the day, different verses, honestly. And hey, Brenda, Jade Hunter, a lot of Rush lyrics pop into my head. If you choose not to decide, you still have made a choice. That's a good one. Yeah, I have lyrics popping into my head all the time. I try to share some with you, but not too many because I don't want to keep getting distracted. But it is fun, isn't it? Strangely, all the words to songs I grew up to, I suddenly hear. Before it was just bebop noise with different emotions attached. Right, exactly. Words, lyrics are much clearer. Yeah, and some of the lyrics that you thought you knew, and then you realize that you didn't know. That's always funny too. And they have great meaning either way. Life experiences bring the words to light. Wake up to find out that you are the eyes of the world, right? It's a Grateful Dead, Eyes of the World. Sunset says, like, holy crapola. That's what they said. I'm not sure what you're referring to because I got a minute behind you here. Yeah, justice for Kylie, Sherry. Thank you. We always want to keep hashtagging things like that. So let me start with we know the house was torn down. Holy crapola, man. Um, so the house in the Idaho 4 case, you guys, torn down 3 days ago now on the 28th, and today's the 31st. So this is from Jewels of All Trades. You know, I always like to give people shout outs when I know that I got an idea from them. This is a brilliant idea. She basically said in one of her last videos, if law enforcement thought that the house might be the target, why in the F would they be destroying that key evidence? Good point, huh? Absolutely good point. She also said that the G family going to the Bahamas instead of filing a motion to delay the destruction of that key evidence was rubbing her the wrong way. And I'm kind of paraphrasing that. That's not a quote, but basically, I think she made another really good point that the G family taking a trip to the Bahamas at this point in time when that costs a lot of money. So does hiring an attorney to file a motion to delay the destruction of the house. But if they really wanted to delay that, then why didn't they do that? We know that they already have an attorney. In fact, I brought this up in my last video. I'm pretty sure that they're the only family that has retained an attorney. And I never questioned it before, but I'm not really questioning it. I'm just looking at that as an interesting piece of information. Why exactly? Probably, in my opinion, because they don't trust what's going on with the case. It could be I mean, usually people, when they hire an attorney, it almost kind of makes them look guilty. So I'm thinking some type of self-preservation. And Steve Gonzo has alluded to that he has said so much that there's unsavory things about Kaylee that we might not like to look at, but that they'll come out in a trial. Do you guys really think there's ever going to be a trial? Because I've never thought that. This is honestly what I've always thought, is that the criminal defendant would become unalived in prison, in jail, before he ever gets to prison, that he would unalive himself allegedly, accidentally, naturally, self-inflicted, that type of thing. So I hope that I'm wrong. I don't think I've ever really said it out loud, but that has been my fear and my suspicion from day one, is that that would happen. I sure as heck hope that it doesn't. Whoever committed these heinous crimes, I hope that there can be justice for the victims and for the families. And it just drives me nuts to hear people talk about this case as if he did it. I can't even fathom talking like that about like even those kids in the video from the 18-year-old and the 22-year-old and the unborn baby that got unalived like a day or two before Christmas. Even the kids in that video footage, I'm not going to assume that because they're in that video footage and they're talking smack the way they are, and there's all that evidence there, I'm not going to assume I know who did it. I mean, come on. You can't. You just can't. I mean, it's absurd. It really is, because as much as it looks like those kids did it, they might not have. They might have been part of it. They might have done it. They might not have. They might have just been talking smack, and then some other people that had some other beef did it. You just don't know. Truth is always stranger than fiction. Always. It's where they get good fiction from, is crazy truth, right? And these cases are always full of surprises. And when people think that some of the content creators are going off the rails with all their theories, think again, because what actually happened is probably going to be a lot weirder than anybody ever theorized, in my humble opinion. Mark my words, not just with this case or that case, but with every case. I mean, and there's so much that we're never going to know. There's so much that doesn't come out in a trial, that doesn't come out in public. There's just so much that we're never going to know. But it's, I think, helpful and productive to talk about these cases when we are feeling heartbroken over them, and we can make the world a better place and a safer place. And the fact is, seriously, that we care. We give a damn. We do. We care about these people. And not everyone does. If everyone did, these things wouldn't happen. So I'm just happy to be here, and I'm happy that you're here too. Thank you. I like your music symbols. Be right back, Sunset says. You know, I never say that when I'm in a chat, and I think it's great when people do. So thank you for saying that. I thought about saying that when I was dropping in and out of Divine Justices today, and looking back, I think I might start to do that. You know, just say, hi, I'm here, and then say, okay, I got to dip out. I just kind of dip out and then come back when I need to. But yeah, however you do it is cool. It's just nice to communicate. It's helpful. And then especially if somebody's asking you a question directly and you're not answering, and then it's like, oh, okay, well, they might have left for a minute, or maybe they're gone for the rest of it. Who knows? Anyway, Anne France says, UK here, 2:30 a.m. Happy New Year all. Torn down in only 2 hours, Fred Field. Started a half hour early while still dark. Right. And I did get it right the other day. I always try to phrase things so that if I'm not accurate, I'm not being misleading. It did start at 6:30. It was scheduled for 7, and it was very dark out, and they got a lot done in the dark. So personally, I actually think that that's good, because I was very afraid of there being any type of protest and any type of injury. What I think is suspicious AF is, why the F did the police chief need to be there? That really doesn't make sense to me. Really doesn't make sense to me. Although maybe just to keep the peace in case people did try to protest. I don't know. I thought it was weird. I mean, it is weird, because for that purpose, he could have officers go out. He could have corporals go out. He could have sergeants go out. He's the police chief. He's the head of the department. It was a PR stunt, basically, in my opinion. And I want to start calling him Chief French Fry. And before you say how funny I am not taking credit, because I think it was in a chat of Get a Clue. I'll look and I'll make sure that I get the channel right. I think I even jotted down the person who made the comment. I think I even jotted down their name somewhere, but I thought that was perfect. It was just like a day or two ago that I saw somebody call him Chief French Fry, and I was like, man, I think that the interwebs need to run with that, because that guy's a joke, an absolute joke. And I can't believe none of us thought of it sooner. But, you know, we all try to be adults here, right? We try not to be like comedians with this horrible, sad, traumatic, tragic reality. Walk my dog shortly, haha, in France. Yes, always good to do that. Yeah, I sat in the puppy piles. Maybe you saw some of my community post photos today. I posted the 2 cute tiny dogs that were just like cuddling on my lap all day. I have so many pictures of them. That's all I did, was watch documentaries and take photos of the dogs and put them on community posts. So go to the community post if you haven't seen it yet. Absolutely adorable. So Mookie is my 6 or 7-year-old Chiweenie, and she's about 10 pounds. She's smaller than almost all of our cats. We have 4 cats right now. I think only one of them is slightly smaller than her. One of our cats is twice her size. One of our cats is 20 pounds. However, The nude little guy, Yogi, is 5 pounds of fury, and the two of them together are so freaking cute. It's ridiculous. Yogi is Chihuahua and Pomeranian, and he is adorable. And he's like a replica of our big normal dog, Coco. So I'll put some pictures of him and Coco up too, because they're super cute together. She just wasn't in the photos today. Anyway, yeah, our dogs keep us grounded, don't they? Billy, darling, hello, hello. And cover up. What cover up? Did I say cover up? Oh, are you talking about the Idaho knocking down the house cover up? Yeah, come on. That's like, it's just so obvious. I'm kind of, as much as I said that I thought that they were going to go through with it, it wouldn't have surprised me if they didn't, because it would have been smart for them not to, because I think they just kind of showed their hand by knocking it over, knocking it down, tearing it up. I really think they're showing their hand that, yeah, there's a lot there that they don't want anyone to know about. And Mama D 1111 Tarot, I believe she called it in one of her last videos. She just put this crazy theory out there about the tunnels and the OnlyFans and the billionaire. And I'm like, yeah, I think you nailed it, girl. I really think that that crazy theory is probably pretty precisely on track. Unfortunately, it's sick. It's twisted. It makes me want to vomit. Hey, Michael, how are you? Happy New Year. So nice to be able to read your chat and have it not disappear on me, and have it be like 3 millimeters tall instead of 1 millimeter tall, and to be able to even highlight some of them. So happy to have a laptop after 2 months of the methadone treatment, right? Okay. Love Chief French Fry, whoever made it up. Ha ha ha. Yeah, and I totally want to kick them credit. Like I said, I think it was on a Get a Clue from a day or two ago, and I think it was somebody in their comments, but it could have been a different channel. I will check and clarify in one of my upcoming videos or in the description or something. I always try to correct myself and clarify if I'm fuzzy on something or catch myself making a mistake. And Bobo says, quiet. I'm quiet, making fun of Kylie's death. Kylie. Yeah. Oh my goodness. Just horrible. It's like she just really wants to be rotten, like Mr. Grinch, right? Idaho is not a cover up. Kylie's death was. Well, I think that they both are. I really do. I think the Idaho case is crazy. I think the whole thing with finding out that Coomer Scott Green is a billionaire and that he was worth, I think it was like $2.67 billion when he filled the position 4 years ago. I think it was 2019. And that he's amassed over $1 billion more in the 4 years that he has been at that school. And that to me is sus AF. Like, that's a lot of money as a school president. And before being a school president, we've talked about this a lot. He had never worked in academia, and he doesn't have a PhD. He holds a master's degree in business from Harvard. Nothing wrong with that. It's just unusual for a president of a university to not have a doctoral degree and to not have a work history in academia. So his work history, I think this is also weird. I've been up close to a lot of lawyers. He and law firms. He managed a big law firm, I think in New York City, somewhere on the East Coast. So, you know, these big time law firms are really like sharks in a lot of the law firms, whether they're in New York, Los Angeles, Seattle, Ohio, Florida, Texas, Chicago. It don't matter where you are. Law firms are like sharks. I mean, it's just like, yeah. So that's what he did. He managed law firms as not a lawyer. So after managing law firms as not a lawyer, then he's managing a university as not an academic. So it makes me scratch my head, especially when he's not only a billionaire, so he really doesn't need to work at all, but he's an even bigger billionaire after being there for only 4 years. To turn 2.67, I think is the number, $1 billion into like 4-ish, like close to 4. I've got all the numbers in one of my community posts a couple of weeks back where it has each year and what his value was allegedly from a website. So those things are not always accurate. I think that's important to point out too. But yeah, they Bobo, I challenge you on this. I appreciate your opinion, and I also appreciate, because it gets me really fired up, obviously. But why in the world did they take the cars of the deceased students from the location of the crime scene to Mr. Kumar Scott Green's house and park them in his driveway? They left them sitting there in the parking lot at the 1122 residence, I think for about 2 weeks. And then when they finally removed them, they literally took them to his house and parked them in his driveway. That's effing crazy. Those cars should have been dusted for fingerprints. They should have been tested for so many things. They should have been taken into evidence on day one. That's a no-brainer. That's an absolute no-brainer. So, yeah. Anyway, moving right along. I would imagine the victims' families would be upset over that destruction and another suspicious move on those in control. And I agree, Brenda. And if they're trying to say like, oh, they want the students to be able to heal. No, they want the students to come back to school in January. Just like last year, they had to arrest somebody before school was back, right? They had to. People were scared to death. People did not want to be on that campus. And again, rewind back to Thanksgiving last year when this happened, right before Thanksgiving, and Chief Fry telling all the students to basically just go home if they don't feel comfortable on campus because, that's cool. It's like, wait, no, don't you need to talk to everybody before they leave? Are you freaking kidding me? So much of this case is so suspicious from jump, and so much of it, we can't even see the forest through the trees. It's just crazy. So yeah, the only family that I know of that's not upset about the destruction is Ethan's family. And who was it? Right before I came on, I saw another channel who pointed out that he didn't even live there. Like, why do they want to say that they're not upset about the house being knocked down when he didn't even live there? He was just staying there for the night, and I'm sure he stayed there often. But yeah, that's weird. The fact that he didn't live there and that his parents, his family's the only family that is like, oh, good, they knocked it down. That's better for us and everybody else. Makes me suspicious. It doesn't make sense. It just doesn't make sense. Yes, Brenda, Chief Small Fry would also work. 100%. I'm with you 100%. I was totally thinking that earlier today, trying to tie that in. And then maybe we can tie in that joke about, you want fries with that? You want a small Chief Fry with that? Let's focus. Kylie was offed. Yeah. Yes, she was. And again, why would there be so many people trying so hard to sell it? If that is what happened, why would anybody be concerned about trying to sell it? Why wouldn't they just let the evidence speak for itself? Again, that's evidence to me right there. And yeah, it just is gut wrenching. It really is. And the Maui case, the Maui case. Right as I was coming on, I saw that Brush Junkie literally dropped a video a minute before I was coming on. So I was like, oh, it's only 6 minutes, but I'm not going to watch it and keep my people waiting longer than I've kept them already. So I'll watch that when we're done here. Did he have any connection to kids? No. So Bobo, I'm not sure if you're talking about Chief Fry connection to the kids. If that's him in that photograph of the back of the corner club talking with Adam and Hoodie Guy and kind of looking sideways at Kaylee and Maddie and Jack D, I would say that he did have a connection. But also the whole police department had a connection to the kids. The whole police department knew that house and those residents fairly well. They were fairly familiar. And I was saying, I think in my video yesterday, how it's always made me wonder why somebody from the police department, like Chief Small Fry or anybody, Roger Lanier, the captain, wouldn't just come out and say, this is an excruciatingly difficult, tragic, traumatic event for everybody, officers included, of course, but especially because they were familiar with these students. Why not just say that? And for Coomer Scott Green to keep saying how this house is going to make people feel better when it's gone because it holds all these memories, doesn't it hold his childhood memories too? Like, again, why doesn't he just say that? Like, it holds my childhood memories, and then this happened, and that's hideous that this happened in a house that my parents used to own, so I want it gone. Like, why doesn't he just say it? That makes me suspicious that they're not being authentic, because if you're not going to be authentic, you can't be real. You cannot be real if you're not going to be authentic. And I see Squirrels is here, and I'm not sure how many other of the people in chat right now are content creators, but when we come on to do our shows, to do our YouTube, to create our content, if we're not going to be authentically ourselves, we ain't got shit to share with you guys. I'm just going to say it like it is. And that's the truth. So if you're not going to just be you and be real, you are being a freaking phony, to quote my friend Holden Caulfield. Anyway, don't I get fired up? Okay, so sometimes it's cute, sometimes it's not. Let's see. Let's focus. Thank you, Bobo. Yeah. Squirrel says, blessing into the new year. Who killed Kylie Rodney? Tell the truth for Kylie. And are you still planning on going on live tonight, Shan? Is that going to work for you, or do you know if you feel like answering? And no connection to Kylie. No connection with, I'm so confused. No connection with the Idaho 4? Because, yeah, I don't really think that there is any connection with Idaho 4 and Kylie. I think there's parallels. So, yeah, but I'm not sure if that's what you mean or something else. So if you'd like to clarify, please do. I'll try to speed read so I'm caught up and we're all on the same page. Happy early New Year, Shan. And crazy psycho kids do unalive friends they are jealous of. Right. Even pretty girls. I mean, look at Mo Wilson and the psychotic yoga instructor. I don't even like to say the names of the perps. They don't deserve any focus, but you guys know who I'm talking about. Poor Mo Wilson. And yeah, that was just in case you don't know, it's that Armstrong chick, Caitlin Armstrong, that was found guilty and sentenced to 90 years. And she was totally jealous of Mo Wilson. It's like, it's okay to be jealous of people. It's okay to admire people. You got to live with it. You don't do that type of thing, scammy. You just don't do that type of thing. The Kylie case is different. Well, there could be some of that jealousy with those roommates that were witnesses that weren't witnesses. So, I mean, yeah, they're completely different from the ground up. Don't get me wrong. I mean, you got Truckee, you got Moscow. Um, yeah, but in these cases and so many others, always follow the money. Always follow that money. The answer is always going to be there, in my opinion. So happy New Year's to everyone. It is hard to understand the debris having to be guarded from souvenir hunters sick. Yeah, that is in the Idaho case. It's absolutely sick. Um, and I'm upset that any issues would result in a connection to Kylie. Um, so the thing that Fred said about the debris being guarded from souvenir hunters, you know that when the Berlin Wall came down, one of the reasons that they decided to knock it down formally was because people were chipping away at it, taking pieces as souvenirs. So, yeah, people do that. Sorry that that's upsetting you, Bobo. Um, I'm upset that any issues would result in a connection to Kylie. And yeah, I hope that there's not. I hope that there's not trafficking and OnlyFans and all that garbage. The underbelly of these places. I mean, it's big money, big money. Happy New Year. Let's look at all basic evidence for Kylie. The rest is gross. I think these cases are completely gross. And ridiculous that people have to watch law enforcement like hawks, you know. Kylie case is way worse. I'm interested why you think that, Bobo, because I think that they're both completely heinous and they're very different from each other. Um, yeah, they're both awful, absolutely awful. And same with the case in San Antonio, Texas, with the 18-year-old that was about to give birth and her boyfriend. I know I have their names here. His name is Matthew. Her name is, I'm terrible with names. Doesn't it start with an S? Um, and then the baby, what was the baby's name going to be? Fabian. The baby's name was going to be Fabian. The boyfriend's name was Matthew. And then the 18-year-old girl, Savannah Soto. Got it right here. So, I mean, again, the cases are entirely different from the ground up, and yet they could be more similar than any of us want to see. Money, dealing, trafficking, jealousy. So the driver also had a connection to them. Yeah, people are talking more about the driver, and here it is, 14 14 months out, and that's just getting examined because the media and law enforcement tried to keep that driver completely out of the picture as if it was unconnected. It's like this was the last person to see them alive, potentially. Like that has something to do with something, whether the person is innocent of any wrongdoing or not. There's information there. So, I mean, understandable that they would want to keep that person's name private so that the person doesn't get publicity and hounded and paparazzi'd and all that crap. But it seems to me that there was a lot of denial that there could be any relationship between the driver and the incident. So Squirrel says, I don't know yet. Fees Mimi passed this morning. Oh, I'm so sorry, Shan. And I'm just kind of doing off and on things with my boy. Of course. Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, I am so sorry. I'm so glad that you're here, and oh, that is really rough. Really, really hard, especially with the holidays. Um, More cars that tell come up in Moscow to color me not surprised. Well, and people are talking about that with the Savannah Soto, Matthew Guerrera case. And, you don't have to be like high on the totem pole in these operations to make it legitimately related to that. I mean, it doesn't matter to me how low down on the totem pole you are. If it's related to that, it's related to that. So, one of the interesting things in Moscow that I put into the chat of one of Mama D's lives today, that I don't know if I've really talked about it. If I have, it's been a long time, is that a lot of real estate in the city of Moscow, Idaho, a lot of the real estate is owned by people that are Russian. And I don't say that to be anti Semitic, of course. I say that to scratch my head, Moscow. Like, is that a coincidence? Like, what's up with that? And then, as you guys know, I watched the Chernobyl miniseries today. And, I'd been thinking about Chernobyl a lot because of the Maui fires, the Lahaina fires, and it was Eric West who said that the fires were like Maui, Chernobyl. And I thought, holy crap, yeah, he's got a good point. And having watched the videos, or, watched that whole series, it's so educational about cover-ups, about any type of crime. I mean, that's like one of the biggest crimes in the world, you guys. Chernobyl, on paper, since 1987, the official number of body count is 37. 37 people died at Chernobyl officially, when it was between 4 and 9,000. And more than 37 probably died that night on site. But a lot of people died the next day and the day after and the day after and every day since. I mean, unbelievable. Let's see. Thank you for taking care of that, Billy darling. And Phantom Grower, if you're going to keep it up, well, I think 3 strikes and you're out. 4 strikes and you're out. I was going to say, I'll give you one more chance. Okay, I think you're gone. So thank you. No, thank you. Thanks for coming. Bye, Felicia. I don't know what they said, Billy, but I thank you for being on it. I really appreciate that. And now it says that I deleted the message, but no, it was Billy darling who was on it. Thanks, girl. You're the bomb. Okay, imagine Sammy gets away with this. Well, so far she has. I know. It's surreal, isn't it? It's ridiculous. Bobo, you should come on my panel tomorrow and give me your Kylie theory, or sometime in the near future. Yes, I'd love to hear it completely. And yeah, I just don't even know how to do a panel. I don't know how to do nothing. I mean, I just try to be grateful for what I can do. And that I have my laptop, and that you guys are here, and that I'm here. So where are we at? We're already getting close to 50 minutes. So let me stay caught up with you guys and then look at my notes. I've got a lot written down that I want to share. But yeah, I was thinking the same thing. I'm glad you said that, Shan. Thank you for inviting Bobo on, because yeah, we would all love to hear your theories. It sounds like you're really fired up, and I think that's a good thing. What those 2 cases have in common is shady law enforcement. Yeah. And so far, that's not the case at all in San Antonio. So that's good. I mean, imagine if these people in San Antonio were doing that with that case and trying to cover for the people that committed the crimes. Like, because that's what we're dealing with in Truckee, in my opinion, and also in Idaho, in my opinion. And again, in my opinion, also in Maui. I don't think that the authorities in Maui are basically trying to cover for other people. I think they're trying to cover for themselves. So shady AF. Raised from perdition, Savannah Soto. Yes, thanks you guys. Fabian, yeah. I'm getting caught up. So sorry to hear that, Shan. Sorry for your loss. 100%. Bobo, it's worse if you can use law enforcement to make Kylie look like a drunk. Absolutely. That's why it's worse when she wasn't anything like that. Well, and I know it's been a real touchy subject with Idaho 4 too, when people talk about any kind of trafficking in the house, and like the parents of Maddie and Xana's mother. And it's not to be insulting to anybody. Kylie wasn't. No, Kylie was definitely not. The amount of alcohol in her autopsy, or in the autopsy that they say was hers, was the amount of ethanol that your body produces from the decomposition. Trigger warning, trigger alert. So yeah, that whole story doesn't fly. No, I think she was slipped a roofie or something like that. And I was just listening to something yesterday that roofies don't even need to go in drinks anymore. They go into vapes just as easily. Did you guys know that? I just heard that somewhere in the last day. Not an accident, 100%. Let's all remember Kylie. Yes, please. That is not cool. TOS violation. And Kylie was sober and responsible and was a designated driver. Yeah, Bobo, my oldest daughter is a lot like Kylie. She's super responsible. She's 21 now. And my oldest son is 19 now, and not as super responsible as his big sister, but still pretty responsible. And yeah, they would never do something like that. Not saying that they wouldn't make mistakes and become intoxicated, but I don't think either of them would ever get behind the wheel intoxicated, because they know. And yeah, so I know teenagers that would never do that. Of course, we know that there's adults that do that. But yeah, Kylie was uber responsible. She not only graduated super early after COVID, she graduated with honors. And she was an accomplished musician. And I think Ara was pointing out she played like 5 freaking instruments. Like, that's like being a rocket scientist. I mean, that's like speaking 5 different languages. Look what I missed. Thanks for coming in. Yeah. We do love our Kylie, don't we? Bobo, I'm not fired up. I'm quite disgusted. Yeah, it is disgusting. I mean, again, why should we be having to fight for justice for a 16-year-old kid who gets hurt, injured, fatally injured? There's all these people around and nobody saw nothing. I mean, give me a freaking break. Ara said something brilliant in one of her videos, and I think I have it right here. Let me see if I can locate it quickly. Probably not, it looks like. Yeah, here it is. She said, it's so obvious that no one cares about Kylie. No one is ever going to get the truth out of Scammy. Yeah, all those people there and nobody knows anything? So these people just don't give a freaking damn about her? It's really gross. Like, why would they not care? Why would people be so cold? So, like, the way Megan demonstrates and how she feels, it's almost like she's just demonstrating how everyone feels, but everyone else is trying to be more secretive about it, in my opinion. Lizzie, poise the noise. Hello. Kylie was a wonderful person who was lured. Oh, I completely agree. Yeah. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up. Thank you, poise. Everyone makes mistakes. Yes, Justice. Yes, we do all make mistakes, don't we? Glad to help, Jazz. Thank you, Billy, darling. That was awesome. And okay, caught up. So let me see what else I got in here. Okay, so in the Chernobyl miniseries on HBO that I watched today, in talking about the trial, the Chernobyl trial, the people involved said that the whole trial was just a show and that the jury had already been handed the verdict before the trial started. And of course, this is in Russia. So, of course, we can take that at face value, that that's exactly how it went. But I'm thinking, how often does that happen in cases in the US where the jury is carefully selected and basically handed the verdict before the trial even starts? A show trial. And maybe you guys have heard that term before. I haven't. So, yeah. Unbelievable. So another thing from the Chernobyl movie or series, miniseries, was just a quote about how our secrets and lies define us. And when we are telling the lies and keeping the secrets, and we do that so much that we will lose track of the truth ourselves, that we will start to believe our own lies. And I totally believe that. I think that's 100% true. And yeah, I wrote down this thing again from the movie about scientists having an idiotic obsession with reason and truth. That was something that, of course, the bad guys said, like these stupid scientists and their idiotic obsession with reason and truth. And I just thought, isn't that funny? You could say that same thing about us armchair detectives here on YouTube, our idiotic obsession with reason and science and truth. Yeah, what's wrong with us anyway? And this is something that one of the people testifying said, again, in the Chernobyl miniseries, that in a just world, he would be killed for lying. But in this world, you can be crucified for telling the truth. So I read that again. Is that a little heavy? In a just world, he said he would be killed for lying. But in this world, you can be crucified for telling the truth. And yeah, truth telling has cost a lot of people their lives. And I mean, that's the whole thing with the snitches, right? Telling the truth, costing you your life. And the cost of truth versus the cost of lies. So, oh, wait. I said in Chernobyl that there were between 4 and 9,000 deaths. I knew I was making a mistake there. It was between 4,000 and 93,000. 93,000. So that huge range from 4,000 to 93,000. And nobody will ever really know because the documentation isn't there. And I said that it was 37. And again, I made a mistake. It was 31 is the official number that has been unchanged since 1987. This is why I take notes. This is why I try to look at them when I'm talking to you guys. Oh, I'm so glad I saw that because I totally miscalculated. Wow. 31 officially deceased from the Chernobyl. You can't even call it an incident. I mean, it's a catastrophic incident, much like the Lahaina fires. And in Lahaina, I think they're still stuck at that number 100. I think they got it up to 100. So it's like neck and neck with the the fires at that club in Rhode Island called The Station 20 years ago. 100 people died there. I believe that the number changed from 99 to 100 for the Lahaina fires. But my opinion is that it's thousands that will never be documented because a lot of those people were living off the grid. A lot of those people don't have a paper trail, don't have people to look for them. They're isolated, they're alienated, they're without jobs and without not only without internet and without cell phone coverage, but that's happening again in Maui, if you guys are keeping up with Eric West. And he asked, I haven't done this yet because I've just been busy, of course, with the holidays and everything, but he asked for anybody who cares to make, I think, a 60-second video and text it to him, a video about how the Hawaii fires affect you. He's like, it doesn't matter where you are in the world, send me your video. He wants to make a compilation and I think submit it to the city council there in Maui. So if you're interested, I'll try to get the information for that. But Eric West has that information on his channel. So before we wrap up tonight, I want to jump back over into the Idaho case, because as these news channels are talking about the destruction, the demolition of the house, they talk about that area where the house was located as being densely populated with students. And I thought, what a good phrase, because the phrase I always hear is off-campus housing. But yeah, it is slightly off campus and it's densely populated with students. I often use the phrase densely populated, wondering how in the world something like that could happen in such a densely populated area, but densely populated with students. I just think it's very meaningful on so many levels that this happened in the middle of a densely populated area that's full of students. Like, how on earth could that go down, you guys? How on earth could that go down? Oh, I know. Shut off the server for the entire city, right? But wait, people have hotspots and other types of things. Then what? So I think I got everything. So what else are you guys saying here? 93,000. Yeah, isn't that crazy? And I said 4 to 9,000. And when I said it, I was like, that sounds wrong. I think it was a lot higher. So yeah, it was 4 to 93,000. And they're saying that there were 37, the body count, 37. Unbelievable. I implore you to watch the Chernobyl miniseries if you're interested, because I found it fascinating, not only to know the history, but just how it applies for truth and justice everywhere. I mean, to me, that's what's so fascinating about true crime, is just how the more educated we get, the more we're able to apply these ideas and these theories to other cases and other situations. Only 100 in Hawaii? Right. I know. It's unreal. And that's just adding insult to injury for people who lost their family members and their loved ones, their friends. I suspect Idaho 4 is totally different than Kylie's case. The criminal defendant get attention, Kylie gets none. It is so sad. Right, Bobo. And I have made the comment more than once that wouldn't it be nice if somebody got arrested in Kylie's case? Because by arresting somebody, they're admitting that there was a crime committed, right? I mean, if they tried to pin it on anybody, on Joe Blow in Truckee, they would be at least acknowledging that somebody hurt Kylie, which I think we all know, given all the information that we've been examining again and again and again for almost a year and a half now. I did not figure the two cases were ever connected. Yeah. Bobo, too many believe the fire cam. I can't believe that people are back to believing that, Fred. I thought that got like completely understood that was a crock, like not just me who thought it was a crock from the get-go. I thought that it was proven to be a crock and that everybody across the boards was like, yeah, that's a crock. And then a bunch of people decided to go back to it being a thing. I'm just like, oh, okay, then. I mean, denial is not just a river in Egypt, and people want to keep these cases as simple as possible because they don't want to deal with the reality that there could be the type of corruption that we see in Truckee or in Idaho or in Maui, in my opinion. We see it in a place like Chernobyl, and we're like, well, yeah, that's Russia. They're evil, right? But no, it happens here too. It definitely happens in every American city that I know of to some extent, and it's like cancer. It spreads like cancer. I think Firecam was manipulated as well as all the players told us. Basically, I still think they all lying. Billy, I love the way you say that. They all lying. Yeah, I'm with you 100%. I think everything that comes out of any of their mouths is just big, fat, freaking lies. But why are they lying? I don't know. See, these are the questions we need to keep asking. Why are they lying? Why are they lying? Why are they lying? Why are you lying? Why are you lying? Why are you lying? Just drive them nuts. We'll just never shut up. Like that's what Divine Justice, aka Mrs. G, the honey badger, that's her mission in life. She's taken on MC Ultra. And yes, so many others. Billy, darling, you're very devoted. And so many of you guys that are here, Jade Hunter and Fred Field and Bobo, and of course, Shan. Let's see. I just watched The Ninja and heard MC. I'm sick to my stomach and my heart is heavy. Yeah, it is literally gut wrenching. It really is. I believe there's no connection. Both are literal tragedies. I can definitely support that comment 100%. No connection. Billy, the fire cams were bogus. I support that 1,000%. The pea in Kylie's stomach, possibly a wasabi pea. My goodness. Wow. What a weird concept. I thought it was 2 peas in her stomach. I mean, not to laugh about such disgusting things, but yeah, really weird. The contents, the stomach contents, peas and wasn't it peas and beans? Something like that. I think it was peas and beans. Not familiar with Idaho 4 case. Yeah. But agencies trying to not be responsible would do a shit show. Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, these people are getting paid big bucks. Shan's been looking into the pay rates of some of these deputies for Placer County, and they're getting 6 figures. And not just the 6 figures starting with a 1, but with a 2, with a 3, with a 4, with a 5. And they're not even doing their freaking jobs. And that's just what they're making there. Then they have these other jobs that they may or may not be doing. I remember a couple years ago, there was a police chief in, I think it was called like South Pines, North Carolina. I will look it up. And he got arrested for driving truck while on duty. So working as the police chief full time, and he would be out of state driving truck and basically working while he was on the clock for, I think it was called South Pines and that it was in North Carolina, but I'll look. So he was arrested for that. He was arrested for that. What kind of peas, right, Miss W? Yeah. Condolences to you and yours, Shan. Yeah, that is so sad for Fee to lose his Grammy. Sickened by the lies. Creepy AF. Yes. And let's see, the cams prove one thing. They prove that 300 people and their vehicles were not present that night. Miss W, bam. Boom. There you go. Drop the mic, people. Good freaking point, Miss W. I don't think I'm familiar with you. Nice to meet you. I love that comment. Thank you. That's correct, Miss W, Jade Hunter says. And Bobo's all happy about your comment too. Bubbly Waters, what you doing, girlfriend? Just popping in to say hi and Happy New Year. Lovely to see you, sister. Thank you for stepping in. That is way cool. You know I'm a big fan. And you guys know Bubbly Waters and I had connection before she started her channel. And I was like, girl, start your own channel. You got so much going. And now she has, and she's just been taken off. Oh, and I'm so glad you're here because I wanted to tell you, I think the reason that your videos are getting taken down, this is just my theory, just my humble conspiracy theory opinion, allegedly. Maybe the Moscow PD is making your videos come down because you are going through their call logs with a fine-tooth comb. I bet they don't like that. I'm just going to take a wild guess that they no like ye. So I'm really glad you're here because I wanted to tell you directly. If you're still here and hear that, please respond so I know, and then I don't have to email you because that's so inconvenient. Just kidding. I'll email you if I need to. Be happy to. Conflict of interest with law enforcement is one reason for the lies. Present, just listening, Squirrel said. Bobo says they are liars, but it's for their own benefits. Yeah, lying liars. Pants on fires. I would like the military to go into Truckee. Wouldn't that be awesome? And yeah, ID led. I'm not sure what that word is, Shan. That MC video before she took it down. Oh, good. Let's see. You downloaded. I got it. Shan downloaded that MC video before she took it down. She needs exposed till the family sues the pants off her. Awesome, Shan. You the bomb. Great. Like there are so many types of peas for F's sake. Right. There's like sweet peas. There's black-eyed peas. I mean, I can think of a few just off the top of my hand. Fred says, theory is that Nate C was jailed due to him trying to help Kylie at the party. Wow. Yeah, I've kind of heard that one kicked around a couple of times, Fred. Also a distraction, to just have a whole distraction. People look over here, nothing to see over here. Like that's typical. Shan was pointing that out with law enforcement corruption. And that is always exactly what they do. They create a whole lot of drama that has nothing to do with nothing to prevent you from noticing everything else that's going on. $500,000 a year. Yeah, Billy darling. Squirrels says, I'll be discussing it tomorrow to help her get exposure. Oh, that's so nice of you to help her. So nice. And can imagine trying to mutilate everyone. Did you mean manipulate? That's an interesting sentence. Fees, Mimi was only 62, but she had many heart surgeries and a pacemaker for over 7 years. It wound up being a brain hemorrhage that gave us 3 days to say our goodbyes and those who needed closure. Wow. That is so sad. So sad. No more suffering for Mimi. Yes. Mimi Trina is her name. That's a nice name. I like that, Mimi Trina. Yes, Freedom of Information Act, everything. Manipulate, Bobo. I'm glad I guessed that right. Okay, bless your family, Shan. And yeah, we are all praying for you guys. So let's wrap it up. It is just an hour and 15 minutes and we're getting close to 10:30. Do you know if Ara is trying to come on live tonight, Shan? Because I think she was on live the night before last, and she was going to try to come on last night or tonight. I know I was going to try to come on last night and the night before, and I didn't, and I apologize for that. I try to follow through when I make promises, and I try not to make promises because they're so easy to break, especially with the YouTube stuff, because you just got to go with it. You just got to do what you can when you can, right? A lot of it is very spontaneous and um, informal, and I like it that way. Some people's channels are much more structured and planned, and those are great too, but I do it the way I do it. Let's see. No matter if Kylie was clear-headed or drunk, she was driving. As soon as her car went into water, she would have been able to jump out. Yeah, the car couldn't have gone into the water like that. It absolutely couldn't have done a somersault in 14 feet of water when the car is over 15 feet long. There's no way it happened the way they tried to portray it for the last year and a half. It's completely insane, you guys. It's 100% whack. Didn't happen at all. Everything, like Billy Darling said, it's all a freaking pack of lies. All of it. All of it. 62 is young. It is, isn't it? I thought she was doing one yesterday, but she liked to have her handy dandy notes in order, so I don't know. The party was 20, Bobo says, and all those kids saw everything, all that happened to Kylie. Agreed. And Happy New Year, you guys. Yes, I think 2024 is going to have a lot more justice than 2023 had, especially in these cases that we're talking about. And Happy New Year's from Santa Cruz call. Man, Santa Cruz is so pretty. I'm so jealous. I've only been there a couple of times, but man, it's one of those places, isn't it? Phenomenal. The only thing that fire cam proves to me is that the party was under 30 and people took pictures and videos of whatever that was. Possible reenactment, I don't know. So squirrels, I think that kids these days take videos and pictures of everything. I think including what happened to Kylie, videos and pictures were taken. I think going over to the Idaho 4 case, videos and pictures were taken. That's my opinion. Miss W, I miss the peninsula. I lived there for 18 years. Yeah. I've not lived there. I lived north of there on that peninsula in San Francisco. And yeah, it is freaking amazing. Amazing place. Northern California is so cool. Yes, Bobo. Agreed 100%, 1,000%. That's my opinion as well. And then proving it in a court of law is hopefully something that can be done one day. That highly possible, Shan. Happy New Year, everyone. Prayers that answer will come for so many families. So Squirrel said, if it's bogus, which I think it's from a different date, it still proves nothing really because you can't see faces to say who was driving that vehicle that close to the water or who. Yeah, such a good point. I think I heard you say this the other day. Yeah, you can't see the face of who the F is driving. That video was videotaping, taking pics, whatever that was. Justice, I sent you a beautiful pic of the coast in an email. Thank you, Jade Hunter, and thank you for your emails, Fred Field. That's very nice of you to think of me and send me that stuff. So you guys, I'm going to say peace out. Happy New Year. Thanks a million. I hope to come on tomorrow at about 11. We'll keep fingers crossed. Now that I've said it, it'll probably get blown, right? We'll see. We'll just see how it goes. So good night to everyone. Happy New Year, badass. I love it. I gotta highlight that. That's a perfect one to end on, huh? So thanks so much for supporting the channel. Thank you so much for giving a crap about these cases. Love to all of you. Love and light. Happy New Year. Health, prosperity, and many blessings. To read Shan's comment and to reflect that for sure. Love the fireworks, Miss W. Thank you. I'll show my little handmade sign once more. Subscribe, share, turn on your notification bell, hit your like button on the way out if you haven't already, and we will see you soon. I'm coming up on video 500, you guys. I think it's about maybe 3 or 4 videos away. We'll see. So good night. Happy New Year and festivities to you all. See you tomorrow, hopefully. Take care. Have a great night.